Belinda, I'm going to do something very interesting today. I'm using couscous, just like a wonderful dish that we have in Malaysia, where we use thick semolina, or we do, thick semolina, which is very similar to couscous. Couscous is a thicker version of wheat flour that has been granulated. And I'm going to have just a cup of that, and it looks like this. When it comes in a packet, it's couscous here like this. And I'm using one packet, one container of this, one Chinese bowl of that in here, and probably another bowl of that as well, just to make it enough. That's it here. 2 bowls of that. And then we'll have exactly 2 bowls of water to add to that. And that will, just a second while I get the water. I'm sorry I didn't get the water. You can look at that. You can go straight into it and look at all the ingredients. I've got a cup of water, boiling water. Add to that whole bowl of boiling water. And then sort of a 3/4 of that, because I didn't quite have exactly 2 bowls. And I'll cover that for a little while. It's got to be completely covered while it takes some time. It takes ages to cook and to puff up. And while we're leaving it there, it's puffing up by itself. And while that's happening, I'm going to show you the other ingredients. I'm going to use cumin and mustard seed. The cumin that's part of Indian food, it's also Lebanese, and mustard seed, which is also beautiful and plumps up and pops up into beautiful things. And garlic and onions here, and some olive oil, and sun-dried tomatoes. And this is what it looks like when it comes in a jar. Sun-dried tomatoes in a little jar. I'm going to show you what it's like here, if I can find one. Yes, okay. That's what it looks like. And it's an olive oil, pickled olive oil. And here I've just cut it up, and we're going to fry that together into it's a Middle Eastern dish, but I made it into an Indian thing if I can make it. So this is what it looked like. And I've got some lime, and we're going to start off with a little bit of olive oil with mustard seed and cumin. Let it pop, and after that the onions and garlic go in, and then after that I will just break up the couscous and put it in, and we toss it together. And then at the end we'll do sun-dried tomatoes and a little bit curry leaves. So we're doing the Middle Eastern thing with the sun-dried tomatoes and the couscous and the onions, but we're adding the garlic and the onions, and we're doing a few other things that make it sort of Indianish. And so it's a fusion of many things put together. I think you'd like that. Just a minute and I'll finish it. Just a little bit of, sit it there for a little while and I'll talk to you. I don't know if you've made couscous. It's very, very simple to make. It's not at all difficult. So try it whenever you can. Bye-bye. See you in a minute. Okay. Hi. Now I've got the couscous that's been puffing up slowly. And you can see it's just been done. And I just am forking it through so that it's fluffy, and it'll feed at least 4 people for lovely dinner. And it's a mixture of a whole lot of things. By the time it's put together, you'll really enjoy this. It's aromatic. It's got the smell of wheat, but it's also the smell of the desert. I think I just smell of this, and I think it's the desert. It's just beautiful. But I'm going to make it very Indian, very Southeast Asian. So at the end of this, it's going to be different. Not at all Middle Eastern, but Southeast Asian. So I'm starting off with the oil, and the mustard seed, and the cumin, and the curry leaves. I don't know whether you've seen curry leaves before. Yeah, the Muraya konegi. It's almost a curryish lemon smell to it, a lemon aroma. Just roll a little bit in your fingers, and you just get this wonderful lemon smell, beautiful aromas. And it just infuses your body. And in Kerala, they tell me that if you have this with any oil, the cholesterol is blocked somehow or other. I'm not sure how they do it, but apparently a lot of people use this, as well as coconut oil. And we'll talk about coconut oil much later. I'm going to turn this on in a minute. goes on. The oil. We'll wait for it to heat for a little while, and while that's happening, I'll just let you see this one. This is the curry leaves. It's very, very fine, it's very bushy, and it makes a great fence, and you can use it in any home. And in Australia I use it, in Malaysia, in Australia it goes up to about 5 feet. In Malaysia it's only about 1 foot tall. And I've got these beautiful tomato, sun-dried tomato, that's been sitting in olive oil. You can notice the olive oil bottom. We'll use some of that olive oil, and this has been cut into strips, and it'll just go through, it'll be tossed through the couscous. In the meantime, I'm just waiting for this. You'll see it happen in a minute. Let's see the pop of the mustard seeds in a second, and they start popping. Wonderful, isn't it? And then the cumin goes in, a little bit of cumin. Aromatic, beautiful, bubbly, popping away beautifully. With onions and garlic inside, and we just cook it a bit longer. This is a very high heat, so we make sure that it cooks as fast as possible. Onions and garlic infuse this thing beautifully. You just have the most wonderful aromas and flavors here. And then I'm also going to be able to use a little bit of green chili just in a couple of seconds. I enjoy this. I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy cooking with things that pop up and change. And food is a chemistry. It really is a chemistry. Look at this. The onions change, and you can hear the mustard still popping. The cumin there. And I'm going to use a little bit of curry powder, just a teeny bit of curry powder. Soften. But then you might want to turn it up until they're ready to put the couscous in. Or you want to watch it, you can watch it happen. When it's cooking, and then I'll add the couscous in a minute. It softens, and when it's softened, it sweetens. The onion sweetens the moment it softens. If it's too crisp, then you don't have the sweetness. The heat and a little bit of oil and softening just adds sweetness to the couscous. Now we're putting the couscous in. You see it happening, it's just being tossed through. Bit of oil, a bit of curry leaves there, it's cooking. I'm just going to add a teeny bit of curry powder. I'm just using commercial curry powder, it doesn't matter, anything, you can use any powder. I'm just using a little bit, perhaps just a tablespoon of commercial curry powder. Just to give color more than anything else. That makes it almost Indian. And then, when it becomes almost Indian, we change it by adding a little bit of balsamic vinegar and a little bit of that tomato, sun-dried tomato. Just going to add a little bit more of the couscous. Don't want too much oil in there. I just used just a half tablespoon of oil for the whole thing. And what is happening is now the sun-dried tomato goes in. Without the oil, of course. Toss it together. Brings it back to Middle Eastern now. All of a sudden it becomes Middle Eastern. And a ton of lime, just a ton of lime. As much of lime as you can find. Lime juice or lemon juice, doesn't matter. Lime or lemon. Give it flavor, give it aroma, give it sweet, sour, salty, spicy. The sourness of the lime adds flavor. Steaming it. You like the color? You like the wonderful way it's being tossed? A few more curry leaves just to give it oomph. It's almost done. And that's your dish of couscous. Done Malaysian, Indian, Middle Eastern. Fusion to the extreme. Thank you. Looking good. Belinda's going to try it in a minute. Go down, Belinda, and have a look at it. It's steaming with that little bit of lime juice that I put into it. You've got to taste it, so make sure that it's all balanced. Flavors are balanced. And you turn the heat down because you don't want it to overcook and you don't want it to get too dry.